Hello and welcome to a very recent update video. Today is Tuesday, February 21, 2023. This is going to be a warning to the residents of Warren, Mass. And I ask everyone watching this video to watch this video in its entirety because you're about to get the best education of your life. So, where have I been since May of 2019? There haven't been many videos. There have been some from the past, but there haven't been any new ones. So the reason why there haven't been any new ones is January of just last month, January of 2023, a Warren Police Department criminal case that was filed against myself was dismissed. And that's what I'm here to warn the public about. So the criminal case against me that was filed by Bruce Bukowski, the former chief of police, Sean Moran, who's no longer there, Officer Sean Moran, and Alexander Sinney, who's no longer there either, had a small part of it, and Jerry Millette had a equal to moderate part of it. So it turns out the reason why I'm doing this video is because, guess what? It turns out the criminal charges against me were fabricated. They lied in the police report. They protected John Fiegel and the family. They protected the John Fiegel gravel pit on Brinfield Road. That has a contamination issue to the public water supply, which is the Warren Water District and the West Warren Water District. The motive of the charges against me, the criminal charges against me, was to get rid of me, sort of have me killed. I say that because John Fiegel, back in September of 2017, we have an assault and battery issue against me where John assaulted me. He also assaulted another resident, Charlene Farris, which is in Carrie Fiegel, assault and battery on both of us as well. Officer Sinney was the one that lied in that police report and basically never said it was a Warren Planning Board public meeting. The members of the Warren Planning Board are criminally negligent in this whole entire matter because they all witnessed the John Fiegel assault and battery on myself and Charlene Farris, which was ignored. And then Bruce Bukowski created a social security number breach where he gave out the employees of the members of the planning board, which when I exposed that on my YouTube channel, that is the reason why Bruce Bukowski and Sean Moran charged me with felonies, was because they committed a crime, and I told the public that, and so that was retribution for my YouTube channel. So anyhow, just highlight a few quick things here. September 2017 was the John Fiegel assault and battery. That was a Warren Planning Board public meeting. In November of 2017, William Ramsey, was the chairman of the Warren Planning Board. He was present at the John Fiegel assault and battery. He never provided any statement to the police, even though the police talked to him. So he lied to the police. The police did interview him, but there was no official statement from him. So he's criminally negligent for the actions of the Warren Planning Board meeting. And then we also have a separate incident in November 2017. That is when Mr. Ramsey rammed his personal pickup truck into my car at the Warren Post Office, smashing it into my car. Then we go to, moving forward quickly, we go to December of 2018, which we have the Mark Richard assault and battery. So Selectman Mark Richard, who hasn't been a selectman in a while, he is criminally negligent on behalf of the town of Warren and the Warren's insurance company, Maya, and also town council. So it turns out in that one, that police report was also falsified by Bruce Bukowski, Jerry Millette, Sean Moran, Alexander Sinney, again, the same list of the same four. So it turns out Mark Richard assaulted me, tried to hit me with a metal chair, and shoved me into the file cabinet. There were town employee witnesses to that, which those employees no longer work for the town anymore. And Bruce lied in the police report and said that I created a fight with Mark Richard, which was not true. And I did file criminal charges against Mark Richard of the assault and battery in the selectman's office, by the way. That's in your municipal building. And Bruce Bukowski called the court, made sure that my application for criminal complaint against Mark Richard was shut off, which it was. So it turns out from the court records, all these years later, when I filed it and paid the $15, they shut off the docket number and dismissed the case 10 minutes after I had dropped the paperwork off. So not only did Warren police officials frame me for crimes that didn't exist, not only did the selectmen do absolutely nothing to fix any of this. The current selectmen, the past selectmen, all knew I was framed for the crime, which means that they're accomplices to the felonies of the police officers and the town's insurance company and the town council. They did absolutely nothing to fix any of this. We also have Selectman Derek Valise, who is a witness to the John Fiegel assault and battery. He has issues with John Fiegel because John Fiegel actually served Selectman Derek Valise a fake no trespass order that was served by a town constable, which is a town employee. So John Fiegel used taxpayer-funded employees and also taxpayer money to get his agenda to destroy other people's lives in partnership with the Warren Police Department. And you're going to say, how could that be possible? So what the public needs to know right now, I want to make this short and sweet, there'll be a video coming later, is the John Fiegel gravel pit. It's no longer owned by John Fiegel anymore, but that property is contaminated from the Warren Police shooting range, which the police officers, including Bruce, Jerry, Sean Moran, Alexander Sinney, all were individual police officers, town employees who knowingly contaminated the gravel pit, which is adjacent to the public water supply, the Warren Water District and the West Warren Water District wellhead are less than 50 feet away from the edge of that property. So I expressed concerns that the police and the town employees knowingly contaminated the town's public water supply, endangering the lives of the Warren residents. And that is when Sean Moran, I posted, I think I think it was August of 2017, when I posted on my website, Sean Moran shooting in the John Fiegel property with a machine gun, and was not 5,000 feet from any resident, and bullets were actually in the trees from Warren police shooting still on the Charlene Farris property. So Warren police not only contaminated the police employees, not only contaminated the property in the water supply next door, they also are criminally negligent for putting bullets, which were owned by the town ammunition and town firearms, into the trees on the Farris property. So when all this was exposed, Bruce Bukowski and the selectmen needed a way to get rid of me, hopefully once and for all, which failed. And so he charged me with 2 counts of intimidation of a witness, which had to do with the planning board secretary and the board of selectmen secretary. But the issue is neither of them two were any witnesses in any court case. So what Jerry Millette did, who's the current police chief, is worked with the special prosecutor in extending my case all the way from May of 2019 till January of 2023, which the case just ended, and it was dismissed at the request of the special prosecutor because there was never any crime committed, and there was no evidence of any crime committed, and there was no probable cause to charge me. But in the emails between Bruce and the police officers back in May and June of 2019 are email exchanges that the police management, which includes Bruce Bukowski, Jerry Millette, and also criminal collusion with Sean Moran and Alexander Sinney, the four of them, planned to. So each felony carries a 5-year prison sentence. So they were pushing to have me sent to prison for 10 years in jail for fake crimes to try and get rid of me. And that is the answer why my YouTube channel and the website have been quite silent since May of 2019, because there was so much criminal retribution towards me and attempts on my life. And I'll explain that right now. So when John Fiegel assaulted me in September of 2017, there was also a second issue. The second issue was John threatened to have me murdered. So, which is not only is it let's see, threatening to commit a crime, but it's also technically attempted murder. So it turns out that he publicly said on my video, which is in a separate video, not on the one of the assault. It's actually a part 2 video that hasn't been made public yet. John threatened to have me shot and killed and dump my body in my own car and dump it in the ocean. And that is actually outlined in the Alexander Sinney police report. So when Alexander Sinney, who's now on Sutton Police, knowingly, when he wrote his report protecting John Fiegel, because he was ordered by Bruce and Jerry to do that, he left out, well, he did put in there that John threatened to have me murdered and didn't charge John Fiegel with anything. So all this criminal negligence is now going back on the voters, the taxpayers, the residents, the selectmen, the police as individuals. And so that's the reason why these videos new videos are starting, because the issue is over with. I also was threatened several times since May of 2019 by Warren selectmen, by the town administrator James Ferreira, who lied in court records to try and also have me sent to jail. He wrote a letter saying it was a no trespass order on town letterhead with the town seal, stating that I had harassed town Warren employees. I was not allowed in the building. I could not conduct any official business. I could be arrested if I come to Warren. I can't drive through the towns. So his letter violated my civil rights. And not only did it violate my civil rights of saying I can't drive through Warren, I can't go to the Warren post office that I have 2 PO boxes there. He's totally the dumb and stupidest piece of garbage on this earth that I'll never understand, and I don't want to understand. So he mailed me a letter to my Uxbridge PO box, which I never gave the town of Warren that PO box, and says that I will be abruptly arrested if I do anything with the town of Warren. And he outlined in there that I had harassed and was not welcome. But it turns out he would have known that all these people, Bruce, Jerry, Sean Moore, and Alexander Sinney, would have known that the whole thing was all fake to begin with. So, and then he had only been there 2 weeks as the town administrator, And I never met him. I never talked to him. So he signed a wet signature on that letter, which makes the town responsible for his criminal activity for lying in a document that was used in the court case against me that turned out to be fake. So the tables have turned. All of these people deserve to be called out in public, because if they framed me, they will frame any of you in the town of Warren. They will lie in any police report. They will arrest anybody even though you did nothing. So I am the spokesperson against the Warren Police Department, the old administration, not the new police officers that are there that were hired, because they had nothing to do with this. They didn't exist all the way back then. And that leads me to my next point that I want to make quickly is, some people in Warren say, when I see them personally, they say you figure shit out in Warren. That is true. So I'm gonna give you a few examples right now. I want you as a Warren citizen or whoever you are watching this video to think about a few things. Okay, one, Bruce Spakowski resigned 28 days, I believe it was 28 days, after I was charged in May of 2019. He resigned. Okay. But if you go backwards in the social media, you're going to find out on the Warren Neighborhood Facebook page, you're going to find on the Warren Patrolman's page that he retired. That's all bullshit. Everyone was lied to. He did not retire. He resigned. I have the letter of resignation. And when he resigned, it was written by town council, which is paid $100,000 a year. So of course, if you pay town council $100,000 a year, they write any letter you want. And it turns out he, meaning Bruce Spakowski, transferred all the crimes that he committed going back 15 years when he started in, or whatever, it's 12 years or whatever it is, back to 2007, transferred all those crimes that he committed in felonies while on duty or not on duty to the selectmen. So the selectmen in 2019, they signed off on that document transferring the crimes to the selectman's office. So the selectmen are criminally negligent for the actions of Bruce, the police chief. Okay, the next thing is, if you notice, Canine Officer Joseph LaFleur, gone. Sergeant LaFleur, gone. Officer Sinney, gone. Sean Moran, gone. Keith Nicholas, gone. All those police officers that all had involvement, I got my notes right here in front of me, that all had involvement of harassing me since 2007 are all gone. No longer exist anymore, no longer employees. They all have different employment now. So that was done for a reason. That was done because when I was charged in May of 2019, all those people were there. So the town, meaning Jerry Millette and the selectmen, the three stooges sitting on that bench right now that sit up there who have no balls, no fucking brains, they're totally, all three are dumbasses, and I'm going to explain that in a second, is because they helped John Fiegel in Warren Planning Board activities, because the Three Stooges are also on the planning board, if the public hasn't noticed that. So when town council wrote replies to me, town council says these three individuals are selectmen even though they're on the planning board, which is not a true statement because I went to a municipal lawyer and found out that is a conflict of interest. So there's been a conflict of interest of the Three Stooges on the planning board that are also the selectmen. So you might say, why am I calling them the Three Stooges? Because they also knew that John Fiegel contaminated the property, which is now Copart's, because John Fiegel sold it for millions of dollars. And Derek Feliz was smart enough, which he does have some brains in his head. He sent me the contamination pictures of that property. And when I discussed it at a Warren Planning Board meeting, they acknowledged that property was contaminated, which means that all those houses around Old West Warren Road have been being contaminated for 15 effing years, and the town didn't get off their ass and do anything. And why do you think people around there are selling the house and leaving? Because their water's contaminated. So I'm sick of telling the planning board members at public meetings, what are you doing to fix the contamination of the John Fedro property? What are you doing to fix the contamination of the Copart property? Not a fucking thing have they done. Absolutely nothing other than they just washed their hands and did absolutely nothing. And here they are, and all the past police and the past selectmen have been poisoning the water to the West Warren Water District and Warren Water District. They just had a planning board meeting a year ago of the new owner of the Brimfield Road gravel pit, and they were informed again by Charlene Farris, who's on the Board of Health. The Board of Health has records in the same building as the selectmen that property is contaminated. It still didn't do a damn thing, and just let 12 years of contamination to that property seep into the water. Absolutely grossly negligent. So right now I'm spearheading class action lawsuits against the two water districts, against the selectmen, against the police, against the town's insurance company, against town council, because all of this has been outlined in the records, in town records, including town council. Town council knew and was told by the police and police officers, and I interviewed police officers in several videos that hasn't been published yet, and they acknowledged when they were shooting in that sand pit, they knew, and Bruce knew at the time, and Jerry Moran knew as police management, as the police chief and sergeant, that they were contaminating the public water supply that could be putting lead into the water that affects the residents and citizens of the town of Warren, and they did absolutely not a goddamn thing. Anyhow, so the next thing is, I'll make this brief, is November 2020, there's the Warren Neighborhood Facebook page. Guess who owns that? Selectman Derek Valise, and all the town employees are on that Facebook page. So in November of 2020, it turns out I exposed that John Fedro had assaulted and battered me, and also put in there that property that he still owned at the time, I believe, or unless it was being, no, I think it was he still owned at that time, that the Warren police shooting range contaminated that property. And what happens? This is connected to the court case I just told you that was fabricated against me, is John Fedro goes to Warren police and says, I'm being harassed by Mr. Baril on Facebook. He trash talked me and slandered me, wah, 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 like a little crying bitch. Well, guess what happened, folks? He goes to Warren Police and brings the printout that I publicly posted, which is right to free speech, as you should know. YouTube videos are free speech. It turns out Facebook stuff is free speech, as long as there's no threats. So it turns out, guess what happens? The Jerry Millette sends him, prearranges the whole entire thing, goes to East Brookfield Court, and they file a harasser prevention order on me to claim that I'm exposing the Warren police contamination of the John Fedro property, and John Fedro wants a harasser prevention order on me for talking about him and embarrassing him in the public on a Facebook page, because he did own the property and it is contaminated. It's in the Board of Health records. It's in the town selectmen's records. So nobody can dispute that Warren police shooting range is what contaminated the property. And it turns out that, oh, now I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Anyhow, so it turns out, myself had to spend $4,000 freaking dollars to get a lawyer to defend John Fedro, to defend me against a fake John Fedro harassment prevention order. And in the order, he has in there that if I go anywhere near his property and anywhere in Warren, I'm going to be arrested by Warren police. So that was another way that Warren police not only tried to stab me in the back once, but Warren police, meaning AKA Bruce and Jerry Millette, tried to stab me in the back twice. So it turns out that so I ended up winning the harasser prevention order hearing, which there was not even 1% of any harassment at all because none of it meted the criteria. So here's what the public needs to know is, number one, John Fiegel admitted to the assault and battery on myself and Charlene Farris. Oh, well, isn't that funny, Officer Alexander Sinney? Isn't that funny, Officer Jerry Millette? Because you two douchebags lied in the police report and said that I was harassing John Fiegel at a Warren Planning Board meeting when John Fiegel admitted to assault and battering me and an attempted murder charge. And John admitted that under oath in a court recording, which I'm going to publish that audio recording. The second thing is John Fiegel. The second thing is that the judge, which it's funny how Warren police abused their police authority with the court system, with the district attorney's office, and John Fiegel got the same judge that was handling my criminal case, to which the judge was never told by the Warren police officials that the two cases, John Fiegel was the reason that Mike Baril was charged because John Fiegel lied to the police, and the police lied in the report, and then they charged me because Bruce created the Social Security number breach of John Fiegel and the Warren Planning Board members. So the Warren Planning Board members had their Social Security numbers provided to me because Bruce gave me the piece of paper, and so Bruce created the problem. And then when I exposed it to the public, Bruce falsified a new police report with Jerry Millette, Sean Morin, and Alexander Sidney to get me charged. And when I was charged, I couldn't come to any Warren meeting. I couldn't say anything on social media. I was blocked from saying anything. If I even did any of this, I could be arrested. I was even, harassed by the court and says, don't do videos, don't do this. So my rights, my civil rights to free speech were violated by the police department in the town again and again since May of 2019. So that's where we are today. So I am free and clear. I'm a free agent. I can talk to anybody I want. I'm not going to reach out to the people involved in the case I just had, because I just gave you the lowdown. And so I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to do some other videos of specifically focused topics, including the John Fiegel assault. I'm going to re-go through that. I'm going to go through the attempted murder of Mike Baril again in the John Fiegel assault. I'm going to talk about Alexander Sidney again. I'm going to talk about Bruce again. I'm going to talk about Jerry Millette again. And the biggest effing thing you need to hear is the Sean Morin case was a effing joke. Sean Morin knowingly, and I have no problem saying this because it's free speech and I have the documentation from the selectman's office. Sean Morin admitted in a document when he was interviewed by the town's investigator that he kidnapped 2 counts of felony kidnapping using the town's police cruiser of that female victim. He did it while on duty. He used town assets and resources to kidnap his then girlfriend at the time and drive around with her hogtied in the back of the cruiser, handcuffed and duct taped together. And that's funny. Not all of that made it in the police report. And Sean Morin just escaped with 6 months probation, be a nice guy, pat on the back, and his charges were dismissed. And what the Warren police did is when my case had happened and then Sean Morin got arrested, I believe it was April of 2020, Sean Morin was the Warren police witness who would go on the stand as a police official and testify to the crimes that I supposedly committed, when it turns out then he got charged and arrested by the state police and is having the same judge that I have and has the same prosecutor that we have. And then it turns out they kept for all these years, folks, going like this. Sean Moran, Mike Baril, Sean Moran, Mike Baril, Sean Moran, Mike Baril, because Sean Moran, if he was charged and went to jail, then he couldn't be there for my case. So they extended my case all these four years later so he could get off the hook. And the whole thing was arranged by the town of Warren Police Department and town council and the lawyers in town. So not only does Sean Moran misuse a police cruiser to kidnap his girlfriend while on duty, which should have been a fireable offense, should have been an arrestable offense. And it turns out none of that was the case, because when the victim in that case called 911, Warren police never showed up. It had to be other people that had to call 911 to bring the state police in to investigate the Warren police crime of kidnapping of the victim. So anyhow, so the Sean Moran case is over. I have all the docket files. I have all the audio recordings. And then Sean Moran is long gone, never coming back, never going to be around. So it just shows you that the Warren Police Department will frame anybody, will lie for anybody, will protect anybody, will send you to jail, will do anything. I would not trust that police department, not even 0.5%. And the other thing too, which will be a separate video, is Canine Officer LaFlower. That's a story in itself. I'm not going to get into the details here. But anyhow, so I'm going to end the video there. So now you know why I've been silent since May of 2019. The case is over with, and it's going to be exposed. I have a whole pile of plans for YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I don't mind also sharing the information too. But it shows how many players from the Warren Selectmen management, because the other thing too is, just to reflect back on Town Administrator James Ferreira, is one, like I said, him and I never met, and he writes a letter on town letterhead with his signature on it, with the town seal, which is Town of Warren, which makes the Town of Warren responsible for that document that he wrote, that he falsified, and it was submitted to the court by a police employee, Warren Police Department police employee, who submitted that, and then the prosecutor tries to stab me in the back and saying, oh my God, he's harassing every employee in the building. Well, none of that was true to begin with. So Town Administrator James Ferreira, just so you know, wrote the letter because the selectmen ordered him to write the letter. He didn't write the letter because, remember, we had never met and he'd only been on the job for 2 weeks. So why would you write a false letter unless somebody ordered you to? So that was in the docket file. So those criminal issues go back on James Ferreira because it bears his signature on it. And in it, so anyhow, that's going to be a video for another day because I'm going to expose that. And as I said, town employees were used to serve fake John Fiegel no trespass orders, and that came from taxpayer funded money. So that's why this video is very, very important, that everybody needs to watch this. Anybody in the town of Warren, whether you like John Fiegel or not, whether you like Warren police or not, you may think, hey, we got the best police department on earth. Well, you certainly don't. You have the, I don't even want to say it. So anyhow, so I'll end the video there. Check back in a few weeks or maybe sooner than that for the next video. And thanks for watching. Like I said, a lot of people have faith in me. I had just had to play quiet for a very long time just to lay low. Did exactly what I was asked, and there'll be more details about my criminal case. I'm going to publish all the documents, all the court recordings, all the Sean Moran stuff. Everything is all public information, and you're going to say, excuse my language, what the F, because you paid for it. The other thing too, just to highlight on that really pisses me off is I have emails from town council from the selectman's office that says that all this criminal activity and harassment towards me is the voters' fault, because the voters elected these people, like the selectmen, the planning board members. So they're all claiming in records to me and my attorney that they all have immunity and that the voters screwed up by electing them and the voters should be sued. But I'm actually thinking about doing the opposite. I'm thinking about taking the voters and suing the town for tens of millions of dollars in a class action lawsuit over the civil rights, over tens of thousands of civil rights violations of 15,000 people or whatever from that interacted with Warren police, that they abused their rights. They did what they wanted. They arrested who they wanted. They falsified police reports. They sent people to jail that probably didn't even commit a crime. It is just such a horrible, horrible situation. So that is the truth. And I have all the documents. I have all the town council emails. As I said, that is why everybody ran away and no longer is employed there from May of 2019 till today. And the only one left is Warren police officer Jerry Millett is the only one that is left to this day. The other town municipal building employees have all left. That's why it's been a rotating door. It's because they all needed to leave before my case was over. And that's the truth. So I'll end it there. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Comment on this video, like, subscribe. And I will be back again. I'm not going anywhere. And, the other thing, too, I forgot to mention quickly, is the judge, when he found out that the John Fiegel harassment prevention order on me had 0% of any harassment. It didn't even meet there was no issue of any harassment. Everything that John Fiegel explained of the Facebook, my YouTube videos, anything I say is all right to free speech under the First Amendment. And there was all my videos, everything I post on Derek Valise's Warren Mass Neighborhood Watch Facebook page is all First Amendment right to free speech. And when I posted stuff and Derek Valise went in and deleted it, that's violating my civil rights to free speech, because when the Warren police post shit about me and Derek leaves it there, Derek's responsible for that. The town's responsible for that, because the court also ruled that the Warren Mass Neighborhood, or whatever is Warren Mass Neighborhood Watch page, is a public website because the town employees on it, including the police officers, the police chief, the selectmen, agendas were being posted. There was discussion of stuff for agendas and public information. So that is a Town of Warren Facebook page. So that makes the town's insurance company and the 3 selectmen, not just Derek Valise personally, all responsible for the content on that, including allowing John Fiegel his stuff to stay and my posts get deleted. But what do you expect when the selectmen run the neighborhood page? Not right at all. Thank you.